Hello, it is actually now Tuesday because I forgot to do any updates or welcomes yesterday. So, hello and welcome to this week's maybe reading vlog. I'm thinking of making these like either a monthly or a bi-weekly thing because I notice week on week I don't really tend to do enough to justify doing a vlog. But like last week, I actually did stuff. I went to the lake. I went to my brother's. I actually was doing things and then forgot to vlog all of it because I was so into doing the things that I went, oh yeah, I actually should be vlogging. So, a bit of an update for last week before I talk about this week. So, I didn't really do a lot of reading. In fact, I barely did any. I listened to my audiobook that doesn't count towards any of my readathons because I started it last month, but for some reason I've just not been able to get through it and finish it. So my audiobook for Tyrant Sorane's book 4, which is book 3, Saint's Blood by Sebastian de Castell, book 3 in the Greatcoat series. I'm now down to the last 3 hours of that, and I listened to about 2 hours of that when I was packing the wax melt order. I also started The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, which I did not expect to be quite so religious heavy on the texting. And I also didn't expect to be so boring. So I've been reading this for like 5 days now. And I just haven't finished it. I got about another 15-20 pages through I Kissed Shara Wheeler, and I'm not enjoying this. I'm really struggling to get into it. And as I said, with my new annotation system, I use sticky notes to start, and then once I reach a point where I think I'm going to actually keep the book, I will then switch to highlighters. And yeah, I'm like 30-40 pages in now, and I'm still on notes because I'm not vibing with this book, and I've just dropped my bookmark out of it, so I now need to try and remember where I was. And I think I might have taken it upstairs because I don't recall having it anywhere else, and it's not down here. But I read Die Volume 1, and I think I'm not a fan of Kieran Gillen's writing. Like, the artwork was great, the colour was great and all of that, but Kieran Gillen's storytelling starts off like, I've read Once and Future King Volume 1 and now Die Volume 1. Both were written by him, and both have just been very confusing and convoluted and hard to follow. It's like he can't quite get the thoughts in order to make them make sense. And I have enough of a problem with that, generally, being ADHD, without having to try and do it with an author. So I think maybe me and him just don't get on. But I did, by the end of it, I was enjoying it enough that I think I will continue it. But yeah, the story was a little bit messy, to say the least. But I did do that. So I did get progress on 3 books. But I'm not going to be hitting the 20 plus books. I know that for a fact because it's already Tuesday and I've only read like 10 pages of The Alchemist. But then this week, yesterday, I didn't read I read very little because in the morning I had stayed over at my brother's overnight, and then in the morning I was on baby duty, so I got up at 6:30 and got the baby up at 7:30. Baby, she's 2. And spent the morning with my niece, and I was like obviously playing with her, and at one point she was settled down watching the TV, so I read a little bit then, and then she wanted to do some colouring, so I got up. And the I hadn't slept very well that night anyway because I don't sleep great. It was hot. I also had a problem with my eye that I couldn't get under control. So I kind of got home at lunchtime, and by 1 o'clock I was sound asleep and didn't wake up till 4. So I didn't really do much reading there because, again, I spent the whole evening just feeling really tired. And I should have realised that I was going to have a migraine today because I generally get really sore, tired eyes for no reason and no energy. And then I started having other problems, and I've noticed now that when I get that, the next day I tend to have a migraine. So I have now taken more note of like my symptoms. Spent most of yesterday in a funk, and then today I had a really bad migraine. I was at about a 7-8, and then it got to the point where I wasn't able to control the pain anymore and started to feel very sick. So I went to bed, and again, I didn't even wake up till 1:30. By 2:45 I was back in bed, or about 3 I was back in bed, and then I got up again at about 5:45. And now I'm ready to start doing some sprinting. So I have The Alchemist. I will be getting this finished tonight. I will be doing a little bit of Shara Wheeler. So if she does, normally she does about 3 sprints. So sprint 1 will finish The Alchemist, sprint 2 I want to get some Shara Wheeler, and sprint 3 is my last book that I need to get done for Magical Readathon, which is Poison Study. I will be starting this, and hopefully my head will be okay, and hopefully I will be able to stay focused. But I also want to do some businessy bits that I've not been able to do for 2 days, although they might have to wait till tomorrow. But yeah, so, but I just couldn't believe it last week that I did loads of things and forgot to record any of it. So I'm just going to share a little bit of footage from my lovely visit with my niece, and I've kept her face out of it for obvious reasons, so just enjoy this little clip that I thought was super cute and adorable of her trying to dance along to Head, Shoulders, Knees and Toes. And I know I'll catch you tomorrow or later on today for a few updates. I'm on Chloe's sprints right now, and it's quite funny because she literally set the timer and now has run into her town to go and grab her Too Good To Go bags and try and get back in that sprint. So we're all like rooting for her, but it's quite funny because like her chair is just like glowing in the camera, and we're all like, it looks really ominous, and I was like, it looks like the chair from Mastermind from the old TV show, and we're all just like laughing about it. But we're now cheering her on because she just got the goods and has 20 minutes to get home, and we're all like, you've got it, and all of this, and yeah, it's fun, it's creative. Anyway, reading update. I finished The Alchemist less than a minute ago, and I literally got to the end and went, oh, that was shit. I will give it its credits. It has a lot of very lovely quotes in, and I have highlighted a lot of them. And it has some really great messages in that I really like, and it's kind of like almost like an affirmations book. So I've written down here, I've got like my annotated pages, my quoted pages, general thoughts that I had while reading, and then my final takeaways from the book. General thoughts, it's a lot more religion heavy than I was expecting or wanting. And like I said, I was really struggling with the pace and the actual plot, and I just was getting a bit bored by the end. And by the last like 20 pages, I was almost skim reading it. I really didn't have a great time. And lots of repetition of stuff, and it just got to the point where it was like, yes, I get it, listen to your heart, listen to the... And I don't know. And I felt like the ending was a bit like, oh, you went through all that for that. Okay. But takeaways that I had, I'm not going to say everything, because I'll do a full review as well. It was like, always heed any omens, trust your heart, and don't interfere with somebody else's dreams and destiny, otherwise you'll never find your own. And that last takeaway for me is specifically important, especially with conversations that I've had with people today about things, because something got said to me today and it's put me back to my relationship. But it's just, you know, I spent so much time giving up my dreams for other people, and I've always been the one to do that. Like, if I'm with a partner and they want to move somewhere, I'm always the one that goes, yeah, okay. Things like, I spend so much time supporting someone with their dream and their goal. Like, when my ex told me that he was wanting to do more with his art, I spent so much time buying him art supplies and helping find courses and books and things like that to help him, that I set aside my own things. And then it was like, wait, I've wasted all that time. Like, not wasted, because obviously I want to support my partner, but I realised I needed to take a step back and let him do it for himself, because it was his dream. And if he wanted to attain his dream, he had to put the work in. It wouldn't do anything for me to put the work in. And it's something that I'm still learning now, is, you know, with my own dreams, if I want it to work, I need to put the effort in. So it did have some great messages, and it had some really nice quotes, and I still think it's a really, really, really pretty book. But will I reread it? Probably not. Did I overly enjoy it? Definitely not. And I haven't put it through core pile because, like I said, I've only just finished it, but I've got a feeling it's only going to be like a 2, maybe a 3 star. So yeah, not one that I enjoyed, and I can't believe it took me 5 days to read 160 pages. That's insane. But we're going to go into another sprint soon. I'm going to start poison study, I think, in the next one, maybe, if my head holds up. I have managed to eat something at least now. But yeah, I'm going to see how I get on. But yeah, that one, not my favourite. It's still great because it's another book that I've read this month, and it was one that I had to read this month. I see why people love it. It's like with the Night Circus. I see why people love it, but I personally did not. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling and get on and see if Chloe made it back in time before the timer for the sprints run out. Hi, it's a day. What day is it? I have no idea. Wednesday. I thought it was Tuesday. Wow. I'm currently watching, well, they just started the reading sprints for Beth at Book's Nest, patron-only sprints. I can't get words out today. And my plan is to make some progress on Daughter of Darkness. And that's pretty much it for today. I have filmed a bunch of videos. I slept in later than I planned because I had the post-drome from yesterday's migraine, because that kept me up till 5 o'clock this morning. And then I've just eaten my dinner, which I really didn't want. I only ate because I have to eat. So yeah, I'm just going to get on, do some reading, try and make some progress, do something, probably edit some videos as well tonight, and see how far I get. I have no reading update right now. It is Thursday. I am eating this, it's like a milk pot thing with sprinkles, and it is really yummy. And at 7 o'clock, so in about 4 minutes, I'll be going online as Shah from Thoroughly Enjoy Books is hosting a countdown type event, like game show night. That's pretty much my update for today, but I might come back in a bit. Hopefully I've done a little bit of reading at some point.
Yeah, you just switch it to the numbers.
No cheating, anyone.
Right, I think if we go down...
Happy Saturday! Oh my god. Some of the bits of my hair, when I cut them last week, I cut them slightly too short, so they stick up even worse than usual. Anyway, happy Saturday. I just got back from the shop, aka Morrison's, aka I really hate shopping on Saturday place. Reading. I've done pretty much none of it this week, unfortunately. I've really started to struggle again. I have been listening to an audiobook, which is Botanical Folk Tales of Britain and Ireland. Britain and Ireland. And I'm really enjoying it. And it did inspire me yesterday to pick up my sketchbook, and while I was listening I started drawing flowers. So, you know, it's good. I've been also making a little bit more progress on Saint's Blood. But today I'm just watching Beth from Book Nest. It's she's doing some spontaneous reading sprints. So I'm going to be doing some of those. Oh, my tongue's still blue. I just went to Morrison's and I got a slushie, so I have a blue tongue because I saw the slushie and ran to it. I always forget that blue and orange food colourings are the ones that trigger my ADHD really badly, so I'm going to be hyper for most of the afternoon now. But yeah, at 6 o'clock tonight, Book Roast is going to be starting the Orilium overnight, and it's going from 6 tonight till 6 tomorrow night. And my sleeping has been really, really, really crappy lately. So I said to my uncle a couple of nights ago that I'm thinking of just pulling an all-nighter tonight and taking part in that as a way to try and get my sleeping back on track. I don't know if that's going to happen though, because my head is already a bit off. I've basically been in migraine mode for the last 3 days and nothing seems to be controlling it. Like, I can just about get the pain under control, but I can't seem to get rid of it. So I'm hoping to either do an all-nighter. Sorry, I'm just adjusting because the wind is blowing the curtains, which is making the lighting go funny and is hurting my head. But yes, at least tonight, sort of 6 till midnight, I will definitely be taking part, and then I'll see how I get to when it hits about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. But with that one, I am going to finish my audiobook. I am going to start Poison Study, and I am going to make progress on Daughter of Darkness. That is a non-negotiable for today. I am not going to end up on Extraordinary Attorney Wu like I did last night when I should have been reading. But yeah, that is kind of where I'm at. Barely any reading yet again, but I have done some art, I've done some admin stuff, and I've done some writing this week, so... Alright, catch you in a bit. Okay, so... in the last 3 hours, I can't remember what I said I was going to do, but I have washed my hair and again managed to get it to go a little bit more curly. So I'm happy with that. Cutting it was definitely the right decision. I went into the workshop, ended up melting down some of the cruddy wax melts that had dried really horribly, and I've re-poured those, and then I made 5 candles that are now out drying. I've done some photos for the next batch of candles that are going to be posted tonight, and that launches the Soul Severer candles, which is based off of Daughter of Darkness by Kat and Elizabeth Cole. And I am now on the Magical Readathon reading sprints. My plans for the sprints: I have 4 books that I want to work on. First of all, I have the audiobook of the Botanical Folk Tales of Britain and Ireland. I've only got about an hour and a half left of that, so I'm just going to listen to that while doing some work bits. We have Daughter of Darkness. I'm only a few chapters in. I would also like to get a bit more of Shara Wheeler done. And the main one that I actually want to start and finish, if I can, is Poison Study. So I literally started it 2 minutes before I started filming, but my hope is to get this started and finished before the end of tomorrow, and do this in kind of like almost one sitting. So we shall see. I have some snacks, I have plenty of drink, I have blankets, I am ready to go, but I've also got some work bits to do. I'm still editing some videos, and I want to upload the new listing for the new candle. But other than that... but apart from all of that, I am ready. So let's get some reading done. I very quickly muted it, but I'm actually going to start crying in a minute. I joined book theme name Mel's reading sprints, and they noticed that my subscriber count is at like 399, so she's just like, everyone go subscribe. And I started these sprints on like 394 subscribers, and I'm now on 402. What the fuck? I'm genuinely trying not to cry. So yeah, thank you guys. Like,
Because Victor's
hi. So last night, I don't think I did any updates before I like switched off because it was ridiculously late and I didn't want to disturb my uncle. I probably should watch the video back. Hang on, I'm just going to do that actually. I'm going to watch back so I can see what my last update actually was. Last night, I came up with a list. I came up with a list of sort of things that I wanted to achieve in that 24-hour sprint, or this 24-hour thing with Orilium. I thought it was going to be actually 24 hours because in the past it has been like actual 24 hours. And even if G herself couldn't stay up overnight, someone else would take over. But last night they finished at like 10. No, it was about 11, half 11. And then they were like, right, we're going to bed now, we'll see you tomorrow. And as far as I'm aware, they're not live yet again. And I'm a bit like, oh, okay. It's not quite what I thought it was going to be. However, a book fiend named Mel held reading sprints at midnight. So I hopped on those and I ended up staying on those till about 3 o'clock in the morning. And made lots of new friends and got loads and loads of love and support, not only for the candles and my channel, which thank you again guys. They've helped me get my channel. I'm now at 400 subs and I'm like my goal for the end of this year is 500, so I am definitely well on track for that. But then in terms of my actual and then now I'm on Shah's Sunday morning sprints because I fell asleep at 3 and I set my alarm for 10 and told myself that I was allowed to snooze for an hour because that still would be, I think it was about 3:30, 3:45 before I fell asleep, so that would have been about 6.5 hours sleep, which I normally need about 8 to 9 to function properly. But I thought 6.5, that'll leave me tired enough through the day that hopefully I'll fall asleep earlier tonight. And I expected to just go straight back to sleep, but I didn't. I actually did wake up, so I've jumped up onto Shell's sprints. But my starting list for last night was to finish my audiobook, which was Botanical Folk Tales of Britain and Ireland. I wanted to start and finish Poison Study. I wanted to get to chapter 5 of Daughter of Darkness, chapter 7 of Shara Wheeler, and chapter 15 of Cafe Con Lychee. And going back through, I have completed my audiobook. That's now finished. I just need to write it up today. I've started Poison Study. I'm currently on page 125, so I'm about a third of the way through it. I have not read any of Daughter of Darkness yet. I've not read any of Shara Wheeler, but I did read Cafe Con Lychee. And I actually carried on reading, so I got to chapter 18 of that. So I'm about halfway through my goals, and we've still got about 7 hours to go. So that's kind of my hope, is that in the next 7 hours I can get this finished. I can then get the other bits done and hopefully just have a really solid day of reading. So those are my plans for today. I also yesterday ended up making some candles and stuff, so I didn't actually read anywhere near as much as I was hoping to. But today, like I said, is going to be a pretty solid reading day for me. And then I've not been on Genshin Impact at all this week. I've just had a week off. So probably tomorrow I'm just going to have a gaming day as a reward for doing a reading and working day weekend. So yeah, I will check back in a little while with some updates, hopefully. Hello, it is now 3:30. I'm exhausted and really hot, actually, bear with me. That's better. After Shell Sprints ended, I went on to Judith from Their Good Book Reviews Sprints for an hour, and we got talking, well, the chat got talking about like tidying and mess and things, so I ended up, we've got one of those ceiling fan things, and I decided to clean it, which then led to me realising that the floor was a state, so I've done the hoovering, and now I'm knackered. I haven't finished hoovering yet, but the vacuum cleaner, it's a rechargeable one, and it can just about do the living room, like it's a double room in here, so it's like a living room, joint living room, dining room, so it can just about do this room, the hallway, and most of the kitchen before it gave out. But, oh, I'm now hurting and in pain. So that's my work done for the day. But reading, I am now over halfway through Poison Study, so there is no doubt I will get this done today, and I'm so freaking excited. In fact, let me update and see. Alright, I'm on page 247, so update 247 of 409 is 60%. So I have no doubt that I will get that done by the end of today. I'm really gutted because I thought that Orilium was going to be back online today, because like the announcement a couple of days ago said that it was 6 p.m. Saturday to 6 p.m. Sunday, but there's nothing and no one's been online, so I'm like kind of, because I'd planned around that, I was kind of annoyed and gutted, but hey ho, like she has chronic illness as well, so I get it. As frustrating as it is, I also like, I fully get it. You need a break. But I've been fortunate that I've been able to jump on to, well, obviously I was on the Australian ones till 3 in the morning, then I got on Shah's and then Judith's, and now I've done some cleaning and tidying. I'm not going to jump onto any more because it's only half an hour before Milk comes down for a couple of hours and he'll have the TV on. So I'm probably going to use that time to pootle about, do some other bits, maybe do some candle stuff. And then hopefully this evening I'm thinking of doing my TBR for September, and I am going to basically challenge myself to only read arcs so I can catch up on the ones that I have had sat on NetGalley for forever and ones that have been sent to me that I've not read, and then I can also try and get ahead of the ones that are due for the remainder of this year. Okay, so the Magical Readathon finished technically 2 hours ago because it was 6 till 6 and it's about to turn 8 o'clock. However, I was so invested in Poison Study, I couldn't stop reading after the deadline to do an update. I needed to finish this book. I gave it 5 stars, and in most books now I have like I make a note of everywhere that I've highlighted and just highlighted a quote, and I make a note of the pages where I've written notes. And this is Poison Study. So yeah, you can see there's a lot of highlights, there's a lot of quotes. I gave it 5 stars and I read it in a day. Technically, it was 24 hours-ish, so I read it in a day. And it blew me away. I regret so hard not reading this sooner. Like, it came out, I think, the year I finished school. And I know that certainly between, like, GCSEs when I was 14 all the way to sort of the middle of my degree when I was 21, 22. And then I've had it on my shelf for like 4 years and I don't know where I got it from, and I just haven't gotten around to it until now, and now I regret not doing it, and now I wish I could just go and order the rest, because I now am invested in these characters. I'm invested in this world. The poison storyline was amazing. I actually made several connections. There were characters that I was going, I don't trust you, that I was proven correct. And it's rare that I actually make a lot of connections with things. I tend to just get to the end of the book and I'm like, wait, when was what? Whereas this time I was like, I'm on to you. And yeah, it was great. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. It's been a really, really good day for reading. I've now got Chloe's sprints on. I'm not actually following them now. I did for the first one and finished the last 80 pages I read in 45 minutes. That tells you how much I was enjoying this. So I read in the first sprint, but now we're in, I think she's probably about talking now. And then I'm just going to keep it on until she goes off, just to help her get the watch hours. But yeah. Oh, it was so good. I'm going to see if I can do some filming now, and then I will catch up with you guys later. Bye. It is 9 o'clock and I've decided that I'm going to wrap up the video for this week because, quite honestly, I'm tired. Like, my plan last night to stay up late reading and then make myself get up early worked, and now I'm really tired. So I'm watching Criminal Minds and then I'm going to go to bed. And this bit of my hair is really pissing me off today. So yeah, this week I think has been a pretty good week. I made progress on a few books. I started and finished 2 books, and obviously I read Poison Study in a day. So I think this has been a very successful week and I'm very happy with this week. So I'm like, whew, reading slump be gone, motherfucker. But yeah, that's been my week. I am really happy with how this week's gone. I've managed to get a lot of business stuff. I managed to get the wax melts sent out and they've arrived, and client is very happy and I can't wait to make the official announcement. I've read a bunch of books. I've caught up on some business stuff. I've started a Twitter page, and I hit 400 on YouTube. So yeah, like, it's been a fantastic week for books and reading for me this week. Let me know in the comments what you've been reading and what your favourite read of the week has been. And yeah, I will catch you on the next one. Bye.